HorizonTV, the beacon for the nation. This program is suitable for general viewing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good evening. My name is Faisal, Kassim, and welcome to Live Roll Talk. And tonight we will be talking about one other important topic. In Islam, this beautiful religion has really elevated the girl child from the time that she is born. Our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that if you raise two girl children well, then it can be a very good reason for you to enter Jannah. When they become wives, basically, they also increase our chances of entering Jannah, and then become mothers. Our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that Jannah lies under their feet. So this are very extremely important people in our midst. And tonight, we're talking about the empowerment, and we're joined by the amazing Catherine Onjiru, who is a gender specialist, who will be talking to us about how we will or we can empower the girl child through STEM and TVET education. Madam Catherine Onjiru, who's joining us online, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us, Madam Catherine.
Good evening.
Asante sana for making time for us, Madam Catherine. Just for the purpose of our audience who are joining us tonight from all over the world, maybe you tell us exactly your scope for as far as gender specialization is concerned. As part of your introduction, that is.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very glad to be here. I'm a gender specialist. I've been working in the gender space for the last 5 years, and particularly in the TVET sector. So I've been writing more of publications, research on women empowerment, particularly girls, adolescent girls, between the age of 15 years to 22 years.
What really inspired you, Madam Catherine, to venture into this field?
Okay, so from when I was young, I could observe I was in a society that was very big. So when I was still very young, somehow social injustice, particularly affecting women and girls. And I just became more as I grew. I realized that I had a very special way of being social injustice when it came to women and girls. And so I found myself doing a lot of research on that field. And then I ventured into TVET and started an organization that was looking into how we can help girls enter school. Like the girls who are not able to do their school, their formal school, so they can go back to school and become more educated. So I was supporting domestic helpers enter education. I became a key stakeholder towards gender transformation education that looked into girls, and not just girls, but vulnerable girls and marginalized girls that had been marginalized. And also, we had issues of a lot of girls wanting after high school. Most of them, they were trying to go to work abroad. And then I realized, well, lot of factors in there, so I wanted to bridge it. So I became an academic in that school.
One of the key things I've noticed you saying is that there you've been actively on research and data collection and dealing with the communities directly. So maybe you could just paint for us a picture. What are some of the most shocking revelations you found when actively on the ground, either doing data collection or doing your research?
Okay, so you realize that what you really focused was the gap of education. Marginalized communities, those people are not able to access basic education. That is from primary all the way to high school, that
Yeah.
basic education. So we realize a lot of girls with help, maybe because of early pregnancies, or just basically an interest in
Yeah.
education, or just feeling that education was not favorable, or even early marriages. And later in life, they start wanting to return school. They realize that they really have that option to return school, but again, they find there are so many factors that limit them to rejoin school. And so my focus when it comes to academia and research, my focus has been on the coordination of prayer learning, particularly in girls. And that means what recognition of prayer learning means is that you already have certain mental skills in a certain area, and you can go back to school and get direct assessment to get back assessment, and from there you can be able to go to school after you get assessed. And so it allows people to return to school and continue with their education.
Okay. That's amazing. By any chance, do we have numbers of the girls probably missing right now on education or empowerment for as far as uplifting or skilling or reskilling or upskilling them is concerned? Do we have numbers of girls or ladies who may be missing on such opportunities for one reason or another? As you've mentioned, can be early pregnancy, can be disease, can be lack of funds in any way, form, or shape. Do we have statistics of the girls who are currently missing these opportunities?
So at the moment, we are not able to really point on key statistics on this thing
Yeah.
because it's still an underlying area, still an area that has not really been worked on. But we can say that around 20% of girls who get pregnant, maybe who get pregnant, and I'll give a brief overview of the same, are not able to go back to school because of the nature of the social life, the
Yeah.
environment, the culture, and the lack of support system even in institutions, education institutions.
And even as you're trying to address some of these problems by, for example, offering STEM or TVET as an empowerment tool, do we then address the surrounding or other supporting issues? For example, there can be a psychological contribution, there can be a societal contribution, there can be, let's say, a financial contribution to that aspect. Do we look at the surrounding or the supporting factors that may have led this girl to be in that state from the onset?
Okay, please come up again. Which state is that?
As you are trying, making an effort to support these girls and empowering them through maybe STEM or TVET, are we looking at other factors that may have contributed to their situation that forced you to walk in and support them through empowerment? So I'd like to assume, I don't have any data to back it up, I'd like to assume there may be other contributing factors like societal factor, there can be a cultural factor, culture in terms of, for example, early marriages can be a cultural thing. It's still a cultural thing in our societies, currently practiced in a couple of other societies within the Kenyan society at large. There can be a societal aspect where it's normalized within that particular society. There can be a psychiatric contribution to that matter, whereby this lady may have been, for example, abusing drugs before she got herself into early pregnancy, and before she was abusing drugs, it's maybe some psychological aspects that forced her into drug abuse, which later made her to, let's say, led her to early pregnancy and school dropout and all that. So the question is, are we looking at the issue holistically, looking at all these other contribution factors, or we're just looking at the empowerment through TVET and STEM?
Perfectly well put. So, as stakeholders in this sector, we try to do an ecological framework. This is where we start with the family, the community, the institutions, and now the policymakers, that's
Okay.
the Ministry of Education as a whole. And so at the family level, we realize that where we have deep-rooted issues from the time these people are, from the time the children were raised, how they are raised, what they are told, as a boy and a girl, how how are they taken. So you realize there are a lot of control that girls are given, and the other gender they are not given. So we try to educate the family right at that level to empower the girl, the same with the boys being empowered, and also even how they're being raised, what they're being told, and even sharing of household issues. And even that, basically, that's that what they can do, they can make it at that level. The support they receive from their parents, the support they receive from their relatives, the support they receive from the caregivers. But we really need to unite and be out there just supporting the girls at the family level, letting them know that they can do as much as what the boys can do. And then now we move to the community level, where we try to break the stereotypes and the norms. Yeah, so that the girls can also be confident at the community level. So once the stereotypes, once we're breaking the stereotypes at the community level, we have campaigns and we try to educate people using mainstream media as well, and churches, religious places where people gather. We also use the national government through the local administration, like the chiefs. And then from there now we move to the TVET institution. And what you are, and we can move to the higher level, the policy makers. And what you are actually trying to propose is intersectionality. Where you realize the girl from being just girl, there are other underlying factors that even make them not get interested in education. First and foremost, maybe when you get to adolescent stage, you feel like you really want to get married as opposed to continuing with education. And you realize girls at that age, they have more needs. They need to belong. It comes to how you want to dress up, how you want to portray yourself out there. And it really affects more, it really affects the statistics of it that it really affects girls than boys. And these are the things that people feel that girls feel that they're not really interested in going to school. The other end, maybe trying to make money and etc. So we try to look comprehensively into such kind of issues, and this is now bringing the intersectionality in gender transformative programming, just ensuring that no one is left behind. So all the factors are taken into account. Even when it comes to disability, we realize that girls are not affected. Disabled girls are more affected. So there are a lot of factors that we try to look into, and we bring out stakeholders. So we work as the stakeholder, we use the stakeholder approach so that we're able to bring everybody on board.
Thank you so much, Madam Catherine. It's at this juncture that we will be going for our first break. We are due for our first break right here in studio. Is exactly 37 minutes past 8 o'clock. Please do not touch that dial, because when we come back, we're going to understand more about the TVET and STEM empowerment program. How do they work? How do you enroll? How do they ensure effectiveness and efficiency even after graduation and all that? This and much more after the break.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما.
Are you looking to stay informed about the amazing stories within the Muslim community? Do you want to hear inspiring stories and insightful discussions about faith, culture, and current events? Tune in to the Muslim Insight, your weekly news updates where we tell you stories that matter to you. The Muslim Insight, informing, inspiring, every Friday from 8 a.m. with me, Zamzam Ahmed.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, munapoitwa kuhudhuria swala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu, hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu khutba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Live on HorizonTV.
HorizonTV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks so much for coming here live, Real Talk, and welcome back. Madam Catherine, how are you? Catherine Anjiru?
Perfectly well.
Thanks so much for staying online. Madam Catherine, now tell us a little bit more about your TVET and STEM programs.
You could please repeat that again, TVET?
I'm saying, tell us more about your TVET empowerment programs. How exactly do you go about it, the whole TVET empowerment program?
So thank you very much. So first and foremost, try to empower girls to enroll for courses that are traditionally male dominated.
Okay.
So that is basically STEM courses. So we work with all stakeholders,
Yeah.
particularly TVET stakeholders, that to ensure that when girls are enrolling, they are able to enroll for male-dominated courses. So here we call them non-traditional for women, because we realize, according to statistics,
Yeah.
most girls take up traditional roles like hospitality, food and beverage, and all that. But you realize there are certain technical courses that are male dominated, and we have a high number of males enrolling as opposed to females. So our framework looks into enrollment, course selection, and then next we go to the well-being.
Okay.
The well-being of this girl when they enroll, when they select their course, how are they going to stay in the how are they going to stay in that learning institution? How is their well-being taken care of? How is their safety in that learning institution? And then finally, we look into labor mobility.
Yeah.
Ability, because we want our girls, as much as they're going for training, we want them to complete their training and access job opportunities. So that is the framework we use. And we engage both internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. And here, external stakeholders, we are talking about now the community and the family.
You know,
And
really
they
need to ask
explain
about
how we
that.
engage the
So,
family
sorry for
and how
cutting
we
you short.
engage the community.
Sorry for cutting you short, but I was really interested to find out. You mentioned about.
I can't hear you.
Apologies for that. I'm saying I'm curious to know if you say,
Yes,
for example, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So you mentioned something that you're trying to encourage girls and push them to take courses that have been male-dominated over the years, which is an amazing thing,
Yes.
just to try and sort of break the glass ceiling. However, what about the job market? How easy would it be for them to be absorbed into the market and the industry at large, especially for the technical courses?
Yes, perfectly well. So I was coming into that. I was explaining now the selection.
Yeah.
So once we empower them to be able to select these courses that are traditionally male dominated, and now we go to we in the institutions, and then now we go to the labor mobility.
Yeah.
And now what we do is talk to the private sector so that they don't face any kind of bias. Once they are done with the training, and be able to effortlessly get into the market. And they also want to prepare also the private sector, employers, to be able to absorb this without any kind of harassment. So there's a whole work that goes into that. And we work as well in collaboration with training institutions to have a lot of campaigns in the private sector so that they're able to absorb our girls without any form of bias. Because we realize that once the girls in the labor market, they don't get a system that is well prepared for them. So for their transition, we look to the private sector through forms of campaign that they're able to absorb our girls without any kind of bias. And
So
there's a
you,
whole lot of work.
so you help them even to secure employment. You speak to the private sector, so you become like their agents through and through.
Yes, industry linkages.
What has been the success rate of this program?
Okay, so I can say this is still what because we work with different, it's not personal. In my role, I roles. So I would particularly advise to TVET students on how to go about this. Our framework, basically using three, the triangle framework that I've just explained, the enrollment, how to ensure that more girls are enrolling to private institutions and not just enrolling, but also courses that were once male dominated. And also just ensuring that they don't create any form of biasness in the institution, they're safe. Yes, they're safe in the institution.
So,
Gender-based violence. And then now we try to industry linkages officers on how to go about from
so,
training to employment.
so I'm interested to know what's the success rate one for enrollment in terms of, so how many girls then you say out of this cluster of 100 girls who are needy, then I'm able, let's say, to enroll, let's say 50, 60, 71. Number two, in terms of completion of the courses, how many girls then get to complete these courses? Let's say a lady has been enrolled into a course like, let's say, plumbing, or being an electrical engineer for that matter. You know, she's been enrolled in that. So how many of them complete the courses? And then number three, assuming they've completed the courses and now you've already connected them now to the labor market, so how many people are successful in this industry without dropping out?
Very well. There is an institution I cannot name, it's on TV, but we have a national that gave us statistics that success rate that they were enrolling more girls now, like they were going to 60%. But even their success rate was very successful when it comes to enrolling. So they realized there was a gap when it came to completion of the course selected. So there were two gaps in that section. So one is completion of the course selected. And then the second gap was also more girls, as much as the enrollment rate was very high, they were still selecting courses that are women dominated. And I gave examples of some of them. So those were two gaps. And how we were trying out to mitigate that was just ensuring, we ensured there was a breastfeeding facility. That is more of a child care facility. Because most of the things that were the girls not to complete their training was early pregnancies. There were high cases of pregnancy in institutions, and once the girls got pregnant, they would not come back. So we ensured there were facilities where the girls would just come with their children and leave the children and still education and still go back to the school. So that is one case scenario of we were trying to mitigate that. So on issues of drugs, we were campaigning more and we were trying to talk to the institutional management to ensure that the drugs they are well facilitated with budget for that so that they're able to carry out campaigns throughout the term. They have more activities throughout the term so that they can reach out to more, they can do a lot of outreach activities on drug management. So we also have cases where girls are using drugs. So that's how we were trying to mitigate it. So the issue of now transitioning from training to the labor market, that was also another issue. We realized there was a gap on that. At the beginning, the transition rate was very low because of confidence. There was issues of confidence. We realized that as much as more girls were enrolling, they were training and they were completing, but they were not proactive enough, and others lost that confidence of trying to be able to access job opportunities and even having the patience of trying to maneuver, access job and keep it. So there was that. So we increased the curriculum on life skills. We tried to change the curriculum on life skills And so collaborating with, again, the institutions that we were trying to talk to on comprehensive curriculum on life skills so that they were able to be more confident. Like I talked about the intersectionality to learn, we realize girls are more disadvantaged in terms of maybe confidence. Maybe they took a more dominated course, but again, when they go to the job market is maybe not so welcoming to the girls. Maybe they feel like they are not in a certain way. So there's a need for a comprehensive life skills.
Do they get used to
Yes.
it eventually, or is this it's a continuous process?
It's a continuous process, but you can say there's a lot of progress happening out there. There's quite a lot of progress. And once the girls are well, particularly on life skills, they're able to stomach a lot of things that go on. So the workplace as well is very different from the training institution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. For our viewers who may be watching tonight and they really want to take part in this program, how do they enroll? How do they jump on board?
Okay, so how they can jump on, trying to get in touch with us. So they can try to get in touch with me. And so particularly what kind of view are you talking about, the students, or what kind of stakeholders are you talking about here?
Sir, I didn't get that. I'm sorry, I didn't get that clearly.
Particularly, I know we guys have different segments. So we have those that are watching us that are students. We also have those that are watching us and us. What particularly kind of segments are you talking about?
Okay. Great, Madam Catherine. What will be your parting shot tonight for everybody who's watching, to the parents, to the girls, and to the government who may be watching tonight?
Okay, so my parting shot is that we try to strengthen our TVET system and just to ensure that our TVET does not meet gender spaces. We want to have a gender transformative TVET in Kenya, and it's an important all stakeholders, parents, to the community, to the training institutions, to the labor market, the employers, the private sector, and also to even the media to work together so that we're able to strengthen our system. The TVET system is a hope for majority of our youth.
Okay. Thanks so much, Madam Catherine Nigeria, for making time for us tonight. And that's how we are coming to the end of our show on this 23rd day of October 2025. Thank you so much for keeping us company. As you've heard clearly for yourselves, it is indeed the new era, the new way to bring in the empowerment through TVET and STEM skills. And this is one of the ways that can actually guarantee you employment. University education expands your thinking. That's what our lecturer used to tell us every day. In university, you go there to sharpen your thinking. You go there to expand your thinking, to remove the little imaginary boundaries in your thinking, and just to expand your scope for as far as thinking is concerned. But actually, for the job market, TVET is the way to go. My name is Faisal, Kassim, and thank you so much for keeping it live, real talk throughout the world. See you next week, same place, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.